let the uprising begin.
There are only two genders, and one of them is right here. It's the box that rocks. This is the Angela Box Show.
Hey you guys, today's video is all about the karma. The karma is coming. The karma is coming in all manner of delicious ways. First, we're going to talk about the karma coming from one Ilhan Omar and her amazing group of Somali refugees that are just the brightest among us, don't you know? The plot doth thicken on that. Then we're going to discuss some karma coming for one Candace Owens. I can't with this heifer anymore. I literally can't. There was a proffer given to Miss Candace by one Turning Point USA, and we'll discuss how she reacted to that. And then finally, karma is coming for the Markle, ladies and gentlemen, and the karma has been coming for the Markle for these many years. It's been kind of a slow drip. It seems to be accelerating its pace. So stick around for all that today on the Angela Box Show.
Hello, my name is Angela Box. Show your fucking money.
Okay, last week there was a story. I need to look at my notes here because I do not want to miss anything that I put down here. Last week there was a story that there were some whistleblowers that came out of Minnesota, and like 480 of them or 430 or something like that, like a crazy high number, that basically all said that the governor of Minnesota, one Governor Jazz Hands, was basically looking the other way at all this Somali COVID fraud. The initial number they said they were defrauding the American taxpayer for was like, you know, 250 million. And then it jumped to $1 billion. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's $8 billion. It's really bad. Let's roll this first clip of them breaking this down, and then we'll pick this up on the flip side and discuss how Ilhan Omar is in. Oh, this heifer's getting deported, and it's going to be great. Roll that clip.
Fraud investigators are finding in Minnesota is growing by the day. Kelly Loeffler, who leads the Small Business Administration, says in the 2 days her agency has been investigating the state, they've uncovered at least $1 million in PPP fraud just 2 days in. Several of the whistleblowers in Minnesota have also told lawmakers they believe the total amount of fraud could total up to more than $8 billion. Governor Tim Walz, who is up for re-election, is under fire for all of this happening under his watch. But he says they have paused these programs. They've brought in outside auditors to get an idea of how far-reaching this fraud was. They're taking steps to keep it from happening again. And he's defending his management of the state while also taking shots at Republicans and the president.
And in spite of the headwinds we're up against, Minnesota ranks economically, economic growth, happiness, number of people insured, education levels, near the very top. So I'll tell you what, I have no interest in having this state look like Oklahoma or Mississippi. And if folks are going to commit crimes here, thinking because our generous spirit and our programs that we have is going to give them some kind of cover, they are sadly mistaken.
Yeah, Minnesota is also now home to the single largest pandemic fraud scheme in the country. And Republicans argue that Walz and other Democrats opened the door to this.
Okay, so yes, $8 billion and so many Democrats connected to it. We've got Tim Walz. And you know what's funny? Last week on Isaiah's show, I said, you know, I don't think that Tim Walz is smart enough to like get in on the action. Like, I just don't. I mean, but we do need to kind of check his net worth, don't we? Because there are some serious jumps in net worth of Democrats, as we know. They're like, I don't know what happened. Like, I came into Congress like $450,000 in debt. Now I'm worth like, you know, $700 million. I don't know what happened. I'm just very astute, I guess. Well, that is what is happening here. So there is a Somali businessman, one of the people that is directly involved in this scheme. And this scheme involved this basically this food. Let me get the right name of it. It's called, yeah, okay. It's called the Meals Act, Modifying Essential Access to Lunch for Students Act. Guess who introduced this bill that the Somalis in Minnesota then raped the American taxpayer for $1 billion? That would be Ilhan Omar, you guys. That would be our favorite little turban-wearing sleeper cell, marrying her brother, little pocket person, Ilhan Omar, who, you know, married her brother and married some other Somali guy. So she divorced the brother because who wants to... That's boring after a while. Then she married some other Somali guy who I guess was her real boo. Then she popped out a couple of unfortunate looking children. And then she got rid of that guy and she married her campaign consultant who just so happens to be a white leftist. Y'all, this is going to get very, very interesting. And so the whistleblowers that came out and first were like, you know, it's this amount of money. No. And then, so after more whistleblowers were coming, so, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, let me go back. So there was a restaurateur, and his name, he's an illegal, of course he is. Of course he's an illegal alien. His name is Abdul Dahir Ibrahim, who was involved in feeding our future fraud fund scheme. And here he is pictured. I'm going to show you the picture here. It's from Lives of TikTok. Shown with Governor Jazz Hands, Ilhan Omar, the walking sleeper cell, and brother effer, evidently. Then we've got Secretary of State Steve Simon and Senator Tina Smith. What did they know and when did they know it, as the old saying goes? So Kelly Loeffler, the SBA administrator, has now come out and says that that she has been the recipient of, you know, so many more whistleblowers. Now that the floodgates are open, people are telling. People are talking, people are telling, and I guarantee you, people that are lower level on this little food chain are going to get in and start singing because they don't want to get wrapped up in this. Because not only are these people going to go to prison for a very, very long time, but Ilhan Omar is going to be deported. So just add this to the list of the reasons this heifer should be deported. Now, speaking of Ilhan Omar, she really has been a thorn in all of our sides for these many years. Lest you forget her and her native tongue freaking out when one of her fellow radical Islamists, some freaky looking Somali guy, did not win Minnesota or Minneapolis's mayor's race. Omar Fateh, I guess his name is. Take a listen to her in her native tongue talking about how we need to, if we're not going to band together and make Somalia, make St. Paul, Minnesota, Somalia, then we need to get rid of all the people who are against us. Roll that clip.
qofka Soomaaliga ah waa qof cadow sare ah dadkaasoo kaleetana magaaladayna nool dhex nool yihiin waan aragnaa anagoo dhan qaar waxaa jiro aan dhahno qofkan wuu iska hadlaa macna ma leh kanina adeerkay waaye bidiis waxa dhihin waxa laga yaabaa ka fishaabiyaalkeen waa taqaaniin dadkan ka hadlaayo Starbucks ka la fadhiistinay masaajidka marmar inuu imaadana laga yaabaa xafladaha isla tagtiin waa taqaaniin dadkan ka hadlaa inuu guriga la deganahay waa aragtiin dadkaas iska qabta meel ma gaarin anaga Soomaali hadii aan nahay inta dadkaas ay nagu dhex jiraan oo aanan dhehaynin qofkaanaytii hana dhaafo dadka aan difaacna annaga kuwa annaga rabo maalin ilaahay keeno in xabsina la geliyo maalin ilaahay keeno been naga abuuro maalin ilaahay keeno video yaal af Soomaali aan dhihin soo sheego waxba aan soo sheegnay oo meel hadhoodi aan ka galaysid male ileen maanta oo dhan ma taagnaan kartid ma dhihi kartid aniga hadalkan kuma hadlin because shaqaan noo taala anaga waa shaqaynoynaa idinka idin difaacoynaa wadankaanaan difaacoynaa sharciyo aan suubinoynaa maanta oo dhan kuma soo taagnaan karno videogaaneyti aniga hadalkan ma dhihin maanta oo dhan meel nala taagnaan karno taas idinka idin taala inaadan soo dhawaysanin dadkaas maalin ilaahay keeno ka shaqaynaayo sida Soomaalida wadankan ku nool ay wax ku noqoneen.
And I'm sorry if you're listening to this and you're not watching and not reading the subtitles on that, but essentially she says that all of you dirtbags that voted against this Somali, this brave Somali, who just, He's just wanting to become a tax-paying good citizen of the United States of America. No, what she said is basically we're taking over. And we're taking over here first in Minnesota, and then we're going to spread it out to whoever our little talons can take us. Now, Ilhan Omar is not the only one, obviously. We've got Tim Walz, who I didn't think was smart enough to be on the take. Again, let's look at his offshore accounts, shall we? Then, of course, we've got Keith Ellison, who is another dirtbag, who was the Attorney General, I believe, of the state of Minnesota. It's just, I mean, like, think about, y'all, when we were growing up, side note, this is why we need to shut the border for the next 20 years and not let anybody in, except, like, people that can contribute. And I'm actually, in a minute, I'm going to read you a list of people who actually are net positives on the United States and net negatives. You're going to be shocked, I tell you, at the diversity of this list. But anyway, remember when we were growing up, I always thought of Minnesota. I mean, obviously super cold. The Minnesota Vikings, Scandinavian, lots of people from that region of the world coming and settling in Minnesota. Obviously a lot of Swedish names in Minnesota, etc. And now it's like little mocha effing Dishu, okay? Get them all out. Get them all out. Now, Ilhan Omar, she was once a, poor little war-torn refugee, even though there's lots of proof that actually her family were the ones that were actually tormenting all the Somalians, and they were basically told to leave in the dead of night or they would be killed. Maybe. In 2020, here's Ilhan Omar's net worth, okay? Now, again, keep in mind, she was married to her brother. She divorced that guy. She married some other guy, some Somali guy, popped out a couple of very unfortunate kids, one of who just got kicked out of Bernard College because she was ranting and raving about Israel. Oh, sorry, bye, bitch. Anyway, she marries her campaign consultant, but not before she, paid him probably millions of dollars, okay? Because this is how campaign consultants work, all right? They get a cut of the mail, they get a cut of everything, okay? Not to mention their salary that they're paid from the campaign funds. And then she's banging this guy, and then they just get married, and everyone's just like, oh, isn't that a nice story? It's like, well, I mean, there's a lot of problematic things in here, but he's white, so obviously that's the number one problem. Anyway, let me get to this. So Ilhan Omar, here was her net worth, okay? In 2020, negative $65,000, okay? 2021, $65,000. So she made up about, what, $130,000 in a year? How did she do that? I'll continue. 2022, $115,000. So we're getting higher and higher, aren't we? 2023, $205,000, which again, going from a negative $65,000 to a positive $205,000 in the span of 3 years is sus when you're a public servant. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one even had the wherewithal to go, how did you get that money? Even though it's not a lot, but where'd you get it? Anyway, I'll continue. So 2023, $205,000. And then, drum roll please, in 2024, this bitch is worth reportedly $30 million. $30 million, ladies and gentlemen. Her and her white savior husband are in a shitload of trouble. And so are all the other filthy, stinking Democrats that were involved in this scheme. And does anyone really think that it was just Minnesota Democrats that are involved in this? I dare say not, because that is a lot of money that they laundered, and a lot of money that they said were going to certain places that did not go to those places. So they had to launder it and they had to give it to lots of different people, you guys. This is going to be very, very interesting. Now, I want to play a couple more clips here. There's two that I'm going to play. The first is a video from James O'Keefe, a Somali immigrant, admitting that they were, these votes, these empty ballots here, we're going to fill them out for Ilhan. She bought them. But before I get to that, let me enlighten you with some facts on the net benefit to the United States per immigrant group. Okay. Now I will submit to you. I'm getting ready to read, and I'm going to show this on the screen too. I would say to you, I will take. We can open up our borders, our immigration system to these groups. Okay. Suck it, all you leftists. All right. First of all, we have immigrants from North America. They are, that would include Canada, obviously. They are a positive $573,000 over their lifetime. Scandinavia, positive $557,000. Oceania, which I don't know what that is. I thought that was just in 1984. Am I crazy? What the actual is Oceania? I have to look that up. You guys, what? Okay. Granted, geography is not my thing. Neither is math or science, but you know, who's counting? All right. Oceania, plus $476,000. Japan, $525,000. UK, $481,000. Okay. Now, so I will say, let us open our immigration system to those people. Okay. Great. If you can come here and be a net positive, basically, if you can come and be a net positive, like, we need to have New Zealand and Australia's immigration system. Like, they basically make you give a full accounting of all your money and property and how you're not going to be a burden on them before they will even let you set foot in their countries. That's what we need to be doing. All right, now, are you ready? Get ready. I know you're going to be shocked at the top of this list. At the top of this list are our friends from Somalia. And Somalians cost the taxpayer on average per person, negative 1.1 million. So that means that every single Somali man, woman, and child that is trucked into this country because Democrats hate your guts is costing the American taxpayer 1.1 million each. I'll continue. The Caribbean, negative 675,000. Middle East, negative 624,000. Latin America, negative 271,000. Sub-Saharan Africa, negative 730,000. And Central and North Africa, 700,000. Let me tell you something. I don't know how much more money we need to give Africa, or how much more, like, water or infrastructure. Like, you're either going to get your shit together or you're not. Okay? Stop importing your shit here. All right, there we go. That's right, I said it. Now, let's roll that clip. Let's roll that clip of James O'Keefe showing that Ilhan Omar is paying for illegal aliens to fill out her ballots. Roll that clip.
James O'Keefe here in downtown Minneapolis at the scene of the crime. The person you're about to meet, Liban Mohammed, a.k.a. King Liban 1, boasts about the hundreds of absentee ballots in his car.
Numbers don't lie. Wajida gaarigaygu waa buuxaa. Waxaas waa absent ballot salka yaala. Soo ma jeedin. Fiiri, waxaas oo dhan soo ma jeedin. Waa buuxaa gaarigayga. Waa buuxaa yaala. Waxaas kullu waa Jamal Usman way. Fiiri. 300 clear maanta soo dhacday oo Jamal Usman. Yeah.
There was video. You could see the video. There was a video out and about that he has the ballots in his car.
Right.
And talking about the only way you can win is with money. I was looking at them and they were not filled. They were blank.
Who is the one filling out the absentee ballots?
People who work with, like, Ilhan Omar.
Where do they pay the money?
The minute we sign the thing, the election, that's what you get paid.
Money is everything. Money is the key in this world. If you ain't got money, you should not be here, period.
At the end of this street,
yes,
there's 3 towers called phone towers.
Okay.
And it's all seniors, and they took every ballot.
Every ballot. They just take them from them.
Every single ballot. They knock on the door and say, your ballots, come, give it to me. They don't
even pay them for it. They just take it.
No. And the ones that didn't vote on ballots, the young people and the women and stuff, they were paying cash. They were carrying bags of money the last 1 week here to drive people. So there's a vested interest, but we are victims of the system. They don't give a shit about any Somali.
2 in the morning, still hustling.
Who is the one filling out the absentee ballots?
People who work with, like, Ilhan Omar and other candidates who work for them. They came to us, to our apartments. They tell us that this year you're going to vote for Ilhan. You don't go nowhere, you stay home, we will tell fill out for your absentee ballot. When it comes, we'll come and get it. You just don't go nowhere, you stay here. They fill out for us.
I mean, there's so much that I didn't even get to in this segment because, you know, the radical Muslims are on the march, all right? And if y'all don't think that Ilhan Omar is a radical Muslim, you're smoking as much crack as allegedly Barack Obama did in the back of a limousine with Larry Sinclair. All right, they're on the march, they play for keeps, and our tolerance of Western civilization, our tolerance in Western civilization has caused this mess. We let them in, now it's time to deal with it, all right? Okay, the last clip I want to show you from Ilhan is just kind of a breakdown of her net worth. I broke it down earlier, but roll the clip and let's watch it.
Developing now, despite arguing she is not worth millions, a new financial disclosure found Representative Ilhan Omar's net worth could be as much as $30 million. The vast majority of the money coming from her husband's two companies. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris joining us. There's been interest growing around this disclosure because earlier this year she slammed claims of being a secret millionaire. What more can you share, Jeff?
So the 2025 disclosure, first reported by the Washington Free Beacon, shows that the Minnesota Congresswoman and her husband have a net worth between $6 and $30 million, a roughly 3,500% increase compared to 2023. The Free Beacon reporting the couple's financial gains came from her husband's two businesses, a winery in California and a venture capital firm headquartered in Washington, D.C. Those assets were valued between $5 and $25 million by the end of 2024. In 2023, that number was reportedly less than 1,000. But Omar, a founding squad member, slammed online speculation back in February, claiming she was a secret millionaire. Omar saying, quote, "Since getting elected, there has been a coordinated right-wing disinformation campaign claiming all sorts of wild things, including the ridiculous claim I am worth millions of dollars, which is categorically false." Omar went on to say she is a working mom with student loan debt, trying to raise a family while also maintaining homes in Minneapolis and in Washington, D.C., the disclosure reflecting those debts. As of tonight, Omar has not publicly commented on this new disclosure.
Yes, you guys. Now, Ilhan Omar might be the face of this little scandal, and Governor Jazz Hands is certainly not far behind. But there's a lot. There's a whole lot of Democrats that are involved in this. And you know what's wild is, like, the karma is now coming fast. It's coming fast. Like, Kelly Loeffler at the Small Business Administration is like, oh, whistleblowers are... I don't even have any voicemail left. There's so many whistleblowers. Y'all are in big, big trouble. And that is the karma that awaits these people. They need to all go to prison. And it's going to be so obvious that not even Democrat jurors and not even Democrat prosecutors and not even Democrat judges are going to get... they're not going to get away with this because it's financial, it's black and white, and it involves importing a third world group into this country that has zero means to support themselves, to assimilate whatsoever, to learn English, or to adapt to American culture whatsoever. No, they want us to adapt to them. That ain't gonna happen. All right, that is where I'm gonna leave this segment. We will be right back. You know about my friends at New Frontier Creative. You know about Becky and Kevin Blaylock, and they're not only the people I work with that create my content, that have updated my website. Created my website, created my logos, all of it. Can run interference for me if I want them to on social media, like can do everything. Not only are they great creative people and artists and unbelievably talented at what they do, but I also consider them friends. And that is why I so highly recommend New Frontier Creative. If you are looking to upgrade your business cachet, you need to have things that look good. Your logo needs to look fire. You need to have social media, all that good stuff. You need to have great production value on things, and the Blaylocks can help you with all of this. So just go to newfrontiercreative.com, and when you use my name, Angela Box, you're going to get 15% off your whole order. So just bundle everything together. Do it all at once. One fell swoop. Boom, done. And you're going to be working with patriots that don't hate you and that do impeccable work. NewFrontierCreative.com. Check them out. More karma, ladies and gentlemen. The last 3 months since Charlie Kirk was assassinated in front of all of us by a deranged person named Tyler Robinson, who has transgender boyfriends and furry boyfriends and people coming in and out of his house at all hours with different license tags on their cars, whatever, with DNA on a rifle and DNA on a roof and a confession to his father. That guy. But according to, of course, Candace Owens, no, ladies and gentlemen. Candace Owens, listen, she's on the case, okay? She's on the case. She appreciates the millions of dollars you are pouring into her bank accounts. She really does appreciate that. But you know, she just wants to let you know that it's not the Jews. I mean, well, it's obviously always the Jews. Like, that just goes without saying, okay? Jews umbrella, okay? But under the Jew umbrella, we've got Bill Ackman, we've got Egypt, we've got, I don't know, the Macrons are somehow involved in this maybe now, and of course Turning Point USA is the big boogeyman that evidently orchestrated, planned, carried out Charlie's murder, and Candace Owens is going to be the woman to bring it all to you. Now, y'all, this is what is very destructive here, and she does have some karma coming her way. What's very destructive is that the MAGA movement is basically being split into two because of this shit. And those of us who are even conspiratorial minded, like I so am, and color me shocked when we found out that the pipe bomber was just some like disgruntled, maybe Trump supporter, maybe wokester, like no one really knows yet. Color me shocked. Like I said, I like a conspiracy. This Candace Owens thing, though, has gotten so out of control, and it is splitting MAGA into two. And it's like accounts that I like that are conspiratorial minded. I'm not going to name them, but a lot of accounts that I like are like fully on this belief that Charlie was somehow murdered by Turning Point Action and the Jews. Okay, and Candace has dined out on this, and Candace has gotten even richer because of this crap. Okay, and it's like she's got such a hard on now for the group that basically made her a household name, okay, and gave her a platform that she then went and did other amazing things with. She's burning it all down, okay? Burning it all down. And if I were a conspiracy theorist in this regard, I would say that Candace Owens is perhaps the dark agent of the deep state, trying to split MAGA into two. I don't think she is, but at this point, it's like, tell me how what she's doing is any different than what Antifa does. And yes, the people that are writing and dying for this ridiculous argument of Candace's, whatever argument that week, because she's on the case, and she gets all the intel. Nobody else. Just her, you guys, just her. And the fact that so many people have gone to such lengths to try and smear and denigrate and whatever the fuck Candace is doing at Turning Point, which is causing all of her little minions to then believe outrageous things about an organization that has done so much good to bring the conservative message to, frankly, all Americans. And after Charlie died, everyone was looking up his speeches. Everyone was looking up his campus appearances, okay? Amazing work that Turning Point USA has done. And she's burning it to the ground because she's butthurt. Now it comes out. I said it. What did I say? I said this woman is butthurt because she didn't get to go to the funeral. And at first, Candace was claiming that she didn't want to go. Well, now there's scuttlebutt that Erica did not invite her. And it was like, no, no. So evidently there was beef, okay? There was beef prior to September 10th, where Candace had it out for Turning Point USA. Because according to her, Charlie was changing his mind on Israel, and Andrew Colvert, the co-CEO or the vice president or whatever his position is, that guy was like, you know, taking so much money from Netanyahu, and this was really going to put a crimp in their plans. Like, she was doing this, she was doing it before, and then it got to a point where Charlie started distancing himself from her, okay? Now, earlier this week, Turning Point USA finally laid the gauntlet down. Laid down the gauntlet, ladies and gentlemen, and they went on their airwaves. I'm not going to play the whole clip because it's like 7 minutes, but I'll summarize it. And then what I actually want to show you is Candace's stupid hypocrisy. Okay, so basically Blake, I can't think of his last name, Blake. You know the kid, you've seen him. He basically said the things that Candace has been saying for the past 3 months have been deeply disturbing, deeply troubling, and deeply hurtful, and like devastating to Turning Point. The people that, again, brought her fame, her initial fame. And if that's what all she was out for, who knows? There's a lot of little deep dives on Candace Owens you can start looking into. Like, for example, she used to be a big old Democrat, so there's that. And then she tried to start this, you know, burn book website that would like go into people's private everything to try and expose if they were an internet troll or something like that. And everyone was like, no, you can't do that, Candace. And then evidently after that happened, she decided to become a Republican. I don't know. So the story goes. Anyway, Candace was told that everything she's saying is complete bullshit, and we have the receipts, and there's been nobody else charged thus far than Tyler Robinson, and who the hell knows what the FBI is doing behind closed doors trying to find who else was connected to this freak, okay? Obviously. Anyway, they said to Candace, listen, you have put out a challenge to us. And you said basically, name the time, name the place, I'll be there, we can have this out. So they go, okay, Candace, we're going to take you up on that offer. We're going to be doing a live stream on December 15th here at the Turning Point offices in Arizona, or wherever they are. And we would like for you to come because you said you would. Well, you guys, Candace is real busy that day. It's her husband's birthday. Oh, wait. It's not her husband's birthday. And all her little minions are out there claiming that is why she won't go. So first it was, let me give you the timeline of this nonsense, okay? I believe the first excuse she gave as to why she would not go on that day, even after she agreed anytime, any place, anywhere. Actually, roll the clip of her completely backtracking on all of this.
You can pick the place, you can pick the time. Turning Point USA decided it was a good time to issue a confirmation plus an ultimatum, a time and a date. Say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll. I should tell you that they did not send me an email. They did not send me a text message. They did not coordinate anything with me. They simply made this midnight announcement and gave it a countdown. You can pick the place, you can pick the time. I say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll.
Okay, so anytime, any place, anywhere, but just kidding. The first excuse she gave was that, you know, if I go there, I mean, like, someone's going to try and kill me. Well, the Macrons are 100% putting a hit out on me, even though some spokesperson for the State Department or whatever is like, there have been no reported anything against Candace Owens. And then here's Candace Owens at Dollywood the weekend before, you know, when she's in fear for her life. Have her sit down, sit all the way down. All right, so she said that first. Then she's saying that, you know, Turning Point themselves will probably want to take her out if she's there. And then, and I'm going to have you listen to this clip. No, you guys, it's the feds. It's the feds that want to kill Candace. Roll that clip.
I do think it would be one of the dumbest moves ever if they coordinated my assassination at Turning Point USA headquarters. I mean, that would just be, yeah, I would like to think the feds are smarter than that, but you know, it is being run by Kash Patel, and he thinks his girlfriend's music is sensational. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Okay, to wrap this up, George Farmer's word. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a minute. I didn't get to the last excuse. Excuse me. The last excuse, and my personal favorite. Well, I mean, saying the Fids want to kill you, that's pretty good. You know, that means you're a really important person, Candace. But my favorite, I think, has to be that she is so dependent that her minions will not do basic Googling. She said, well, my husband said, no way, you can't go on that day because that's his birthday. And the Google was like, no, that's not his birthday at all, actually. So yes, she's really, again, if I were super conspiratorial minded, I would say this woman has been the most perfect plant for the deep state of all time, because now her plan is set into motion. I mean, maybe she killed Charlie. Now that I think about it, maybe that was the whole point, is that she somehow got Charlie killed so that she could go on these insane rants and blame everybody and the Jews and Turning Point Action and Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk. Done with you. Done with you, Candace. And I hope you get sued. I don't know what they could sue you for, but maybe defamation. I would start there. Hi, you guys. I would like to tell you all about my friend and photographer and author of How to Keep God First in a Social Media World, which you can find on Amazon, and all-around great human, Alan Baytes. And Alan is your healthcare solution guy. Go to yourhealthbenefitsolution.com. If you're freaking out about your premiums, which why wouldn't you? Because Obamacare is collapsing, and it was always meant to collapse. But he can help you find the best prices for your family. And open enrollment is going on right now. So just get in touch with Alan at yourhealthbenefitsolution.com or give him a call at 713-824-4636. That's 713-824-4636. His name is Alan Baytes. He's an amazing guy. Give him a call and let him help you out with the nightmare of open enrollment. And tell him I sent you. Do it today. Ladies and gentlemen, I have told you about Froyo Organics for these many months. And if you've not seen my skin over these many months, you will even have to say, Angela, I know you're years old, but like your skin is glowing, like legit glowing. And even my husband said, your skin is glowing. What are you doing? I said, I'm using Froyo. And then he goes, I want some too. So we started both using Froyo Organics, and I cannot recommend it more, you guys. I honestly can't. And I have a promo code for you. If you go to their website, froyoorganics.com, and put in the code AngelaBoxShow, you're going to get $15 off your first order. And what's great is that you can go on the website and you can see the before and after pictures. And it really is quite dramatic. And honestly, I'm going to use this stuff forever and ever. It is all organic. It is made with the Icelandic woman in mind who has to deal with a very harsh climate. So unbelievably nourishing, age reversing, gorgeous stuff, you guys. Can't recommend them more. froyoorganics.com/AngelaBoxShow, $15 off your first order. Do it. Okay, and for our third bundle of karma, Meghan Markle, the Markle, the Destroyer, the Witch of Montecito, Princess Harkle, like whatever you want to call her, okay? This bitch has had it coming for a very, very long time. And I will say this. I have found something very peculiar. Meghan Markle is detested, rightfully so, by about 80% of the population. Or certainly, you know, the segment of the population that has an opinion one way or the other. And she's made herself so everywhere that basically everyone has an opinion about her at this point. And it's not good, okay? Like, I don't even have time to get into all of it, except for the latest one I will tell you about. But I was on a Reddit. There's a Saint Meghan Markle Reddit, which always has Really good tea. Really good, snarky, you know, anti-Markle stuff. And not just anti-Markle to be anti-Markle. And this is, I guess, how I'm going to compare the two. It's not anti-Markle to be anti-Meghan Markle. It's like, here are some facts. Here's a story. Here's evidence of why she fucking sucks, okay? Why she's a piece of shit. Here are some evidence for you. Da, 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 da. Then there's this other Reddit or subreddit called Royalty Tea or something like that. I think that's what it is. Yes, Royalty Tea. And it's comprised of people who are Meghan Markle stans, all right? Who lick that woman's taint like Harry could never, okay? And to a person, the comments are basically that we're all racist. They're on that trope. So they're all black women or liberal white women who are the bane of my existence. And they basically say that everything that is being done to her is because, you know, we just don't want, she's too uppity is what she is. She's uppity. She doesn't know her place. She doesn't know when to sit down and be quiet. And that's why the royal family hated her, because they don't understand a strong black woman. That's the vibe, okay? With everything we know about this trick, about how she took a dump on the royal family, how she took a dump on her own family, how she grifted her way into multi-million dollars of doing and saying nothing, platitudes, bullshit, nonsense. She has no real friends. Nobody really thinks the children are perhaps even hers. A large majority of us don't think she gave birth to those kids regardless. Prince Harry has no job. He is a loser. He is stoned. He's a druggie. He sits and plays Halo or whatever the kids are playing now downstairs in the basement to avoid her. But yet he is still captivated by her and smitten to the point where he still is taking a dump on his family. It is remarkable, okay? So I do believe, I am not of the opinion that they're getting a divorce. Oh, no, no, no. This Titanic is hitting the iceberg together, okay? They are going down with the ship together. I actually do think he loves her. She doesn't care about him. Like, obviously she doesn't care. There are many ways in which she does not care. But her latest Christmas special, and she, you know, the woman who sold her soul to Satan or to the Montecito elite can't bring herself to say Merry Christmas at any point in her little holiday special. And it's the most joyless, mirthless, saccharine, forced, bad. It's bad, you guys. Now, I've only watched clips of it. Like, I'm not giving this heifer the clicks. I mean, I'm not giving Netflix the clicks. No. And the reviews I've heard, especially from Cheer Denise and Maureen Callahan, they're like, a part of my soul left my body. Like, I had to, as Maureen said, she's like, I had to psych myself up and gut it out for you guys because it was so bad. Now, so all three of her little enterprises have just been trashed. This one might have the worst reviews of even worse than season 1 and season 2, aka season 1A and season 1B, okay? Because they all filmed it at the same time. And this little Christmas special, holiday special, is season 1C, okay? Because they filmed it all in the summer, over a year ago. And again, you guys, think about all that time. They had to edit this, go back and maybe shoot retakes, do something, maybe recast it, maybe scrap it and do something else entirely. And this is how you know that Netflix hates her. Like, hates this bitch, okay? Because they could have. Because this thing was filmed not summer 2025, like a year ago in the summer. At the very latest, probably like September, October of 2024, okay? Everybody knows that because the dog's alive, okay? That's why we know it was over a year ago. They could have done something totally different with this. They could have looked at this turkey and been like, oh my God, we literally can't put that out. Like, people are going to be so offended that there are brilliant creators out there who can't get 5 seconds on an email response from a Netflix person. And they're giving millions of dollars to this talentless, try hard, boring Viper succubus But the karma is delicious, and the karma, it keeps coming, because this proves just how much they hate her, because they're like, we're gonna, not only are we not gonna help you zhuzh this up, we are going to absolutely make the most horrible thing we can make. And we're gonna pretend that we think it's great, so you'll think it's great. And we're gonna put it out there in front of the world and watch the world go, what did I just watch? Except for the Meghan Markle stands. And therefore hasten your demise. Now, her demise is also being hastened. Karma keeps coming fast. And I'm really, really sad to say that it involves her father. Because I do think, even though none of the Markles seem to be, you know, listen, you can't pick your family. And I understand if at some point Meghan as an adult was like, you know, I just kind of want to put a little distance between them, but that's not what happened. Obviously, it only happened when she started dating Prince Harry. Okay, we know that. Now, her father, she has banished to the woodshed until the end of time, because he dared to take some paparazzi photos that he was encouraged to do by the media before the wedding, saying, hey, this will humanize you, soften you, whatever. And then, of course, Meghan has a fit about it, even though Meghan used the exact same paparazzi photographer that shot the paparazzi pictures of her father. She used him in an actual photo shoot later. So I don't think it would be too much of a leap to think that Meghan set that whole thing up to have the exact reaction she needed to have, which was essentially, oh, you did that thing? You can't come to my wedding. No, you can't come. And then, of course, he has a heart attack and can't come to the wedding anyway. But because Meghan is realizing, like, what a shitty thing that looks like to the royal family, she then had to pivot to say, okay, my dad had a heart attack. Oh, that's a really bad look for me, after like me telling him that he was banished from my life. Ooh, that was bad. Oh, but he had a heart attack? Okay, let me then go and send like the cavalry to go get him. And then when the cavalry shows up to get him and take him to London to my wedding so he can walk me down the aisle, because he's my daddy and I love him so much, even though he made the most horrible mistake. Then my dad, who's just gotten through, you know, a heart attack and perhaps surgery, and was told by his doctors, you can't fly. Well, I mean, I tried. I think he was faking it, actually. Like, I don't think he really had a heart attack, Harry. I really don't. Like, that's what I'm telling you. My family is totally toxic. So it's best that none of them are here. That heifer. I cannot wait. And listen, it's not, and I don't think any of us should get our hopes up that Meghan Markle's downfall is ever going to be swift, okay? It is going to be this ongoing slow motion car crash. Not only because that's the kind of karma she deserves, but it's also because we can't stop talking about it, because it is fascinating, you guys. Now, back to her father and why she, you know, this might have been one little bridge too far for Meghan Markle. Her dad, speaking of Thomas, he is living in the Philippines because healthcare is cheaper there, and he has no money because his daughter's a piece of shit and won't give him any money because she's worth multi-millions of dollars and won't give him any money. Like, she's the worst human ever. And again, she's using the excuse of, oh my God, he just did the most horrible thing to me in H right before the wedding. Like, I can never ever speak to him again ever, and forget giving him any of my money. That's also why she did that thing. So she didn't have to give him any money. Anyway, I'll continue. He's in the Philippines having life-altering surgery, it was said. And now we know that he had his leg amputated, which is so traumatic and so horrific. And it's something I would never wish on anybody, because, you know, the people who are disabled, they have, a lot of them have the most wonderful energy and spirit, but you gotta know that it is not fun. And to lose a limb of that magnitude, it's not just literally a pinky, like your leg, your whole leg. I don't know, at the hip or at the knee, but regardless, it's terrible. He'll be in a wheelchair the rest of his life, and he probably doesn't have that much longer to live. Meghan is counting down the seconds. Anyway, so as her brother let everybody know that this was happening, and the news starts going around the world, and everyone's like, does Meghan not have a comment about her dad, like, having a life-threatening surgery and something that has to be done in order to save his life? She's like, no. I'm going to put it on Instagram of my husband at the Colbert Show. He was the cutest, you guys. He was the absolute cutest. And he was just amazing. He said all the lines I told him to say. Like, it was so good. So look at Haz.
So if you was treated like a king for the day, what would you want me to do for you?
Beg for me, probably.
You'd want me to do what? Beg?
Beg.
Beg? Beg?
B-A-K. Beg. Bake.
Oh, bake!
Her father is in the Philippines. Her brother puts her on blast on YouTube. Basically says what a piece of shit she is. Then instead of responding and, you know, saying she's going to do whatever she can to help her dad, she puts out an Instagram video of Prince Harry high as balls on the Stephen Colbert Show, making an ass out of himself, and then her making some chocolate with some flour sprinkles and hemp and bee pollen. The internet is none too happy with this heifer. Okay, like she's getting roasted, so much so that her one of her taint-licking publications, US Weekly, came out and was like, just so you guys know, the Duchess has been in contact with her father. So, stick it. The worst. This woman is the worst. But it's fascinating, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Because it's fascinating to watch terrible people get their karma in real time, and they don't even have a clue that it's happening. She doesn't have a clue. That's why it's delicious. And that's why we keep watching and talking about this trick. All right, that's where I'm going to leave today's video. Please let me know what you think down below. Please go to the sponsors I talk about. That really does help the show out. Subscribing, liking, commenting. It's going to help pump my content out to the algorithm. If you like it, tell someone about it. And I'll see you next time. Until next time, everybody, keep kicking ass and taking names.